Welcome back to Talk Horror to Me, the only movie horror review podcast where the part of Ashley will be played tonight by Brooke. But let's see what we're looking at tonight. Tonight, we look at Attack the Block, a 2011 British sci-fi comedy horror film written and directed by Joe Cornish and starring John Boyega, Jodie Whittaker, and Nick Frost. The film centers around a teenage street gang who have to defend themselves from predatory alien invaders on a council estate in South London on Guy Fawkes Night. Welcome back, Brooke. Thank you for joining us today. And we have Carly, as always. How are you both doing tonight?
Good.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh, that is music to my ears. Now, I picked this movie, and this movie is from this is a minute ago, but I picked this movie because I love sci-fi horror, aliens, a whole bit, but I can't go first. So I'm going to push it right to the newbie. the newbie. We don't even know who she is anymore. Brooke Wright, how did you find this film?
I absolutely loved it. I really, really love this film. I didn't think I would, but I did. I like the aliens the most.
Wait, would I ever steer you wrong? Carly, would I ever steer you wrong with any of my selections?
You made me watch Terrifier.
That's true. That's true. So is this one of those I'm never going to live it down kind of things? Or No. Okay.
Never.
Well, but Carly, what did you think of this film?
Oh my God, I had so much fun watching it. It was neat seeing John, I can't pronounce his last name. Boyega. In something other than the role of Finn on the Star Wars movies. Mm-hmm. And he did a fantastic job. The cast was great. Mm-hmm. They actually, even for the camp and cheese that's supposed to be there, which is fantastic, these actors took it seriously. And it shows, and they did a great job. I had so much fun watching this.
Yeah, I will tell you that I saw this film when it came out, when I was living in New York City and going to premieres. So I saw this like before anybody saw it. Then the next year I saw the director and the cast from Attack the Block at Comic-Con in New York. So I was actually able to ask a question. And the question was about that one scene where they have to turn the little dial to get the lights to turn on in the projects on the floors. And I asked them, I said, is that a real thing? Or is that something you just put in there as like dramatic effect as, the lights kept going on and going off and kind of building that tension? Unfortunately, they didn't have a really good answer because I don't think he remembered. But at least I got to ask the question, so that was cool enough for me. For me, I haven't seen this film in 10 years. I wasn't sure it would hold up. I wasn't sure the aliens would hold up. But stellar, Carly, like you said, I love the fact of like everybody took this very seriously. A trigger warning: put your subtitles on, because without subtitles, I don't know what they're saying half the damn time. With fam and bruv, and I'm like, what are you saying right now? A lot of slang. So if you ain't got it in your ear, you're going to be like, I don't know all the words that are coming out of their mouths. But before the show, Miss Brooke said to us, she cried. So now I have to ask the question, what made you cry in this film?
So when Sam went through Moses' house, she found out that Moses, lives with his uncle who's rarely there. So I was like, oh, that's so sad. Like he doesn't really have anybody. Like, right. And she learned more about him. So she was like, okay, this little kid is like struggling, so.
Yeah, and actually it's a good point, because that scene where everybody's going to get their weapons, like after we got to protect the block, you got to see a little bit of everybody's background.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? All of a sudden they're just going into the rooms, picking their baseball bats and their
and you get their parents.
Yeah, and you got to see everybody just quickly without it being told to us. So like you said, you got to find out that John Boyega is like basically on his own. and like completely self-sufficient or forced to be self-sufficient because uncle's never there. So yeah, I do like how they just ran through that so quickly, but you were able to get like a grasp of everybody's background and like what their sitch is in the block. So
Yep.
And poor Biggs getting stuck in the trash bin.
Yeah, but he was safer. Well, let me ask you another question. What did everybody think of the aliens themselves?
The glow in the dark teeth were fantastic.
Yes, I loved it.
And the camp and cheese is supposed to be there, and it was fantastic, and it was fun, and they did a good job with the score and everything of keeping the suspense going, and I liked them.
Yeah, I did.
The poor males were just going and trying to find the female, and they did kill her.
Oh yeah,
that happened. I mean, did you like the hooligans? I mean, the first time we see these guys, they are trying to mug a poor nurse on her way home. I mean, they're not really forgivable characters when you first meet them.
No. Oh yeah.
So why is it we root for them, Brooke? Why do we root for these guys when they're just trying to protect their own?
I don't know, because I felt like they was trying to help people. Like, they became heroes at the end. Like, save their block, basically.
So you're saying because there was attack on the block, they saved the block? Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. So, Carly, I mean, I love giving you camp, but I also, apparently, you didn't cry during this film? Okay. All right. Well, then I failed. I have failed you because you didn't cry. But, I mean, the idea that this, again, was such a low-budget film, like on the spectrum of filmmaking, and the fact that they were able to make a creature that sometimes looks like a weird man in a gorilla suit, like he's just kind of lumbering around like on all fours. I mean, a lot of the times you didn't really see them as like plausible, but then other scenes they just nailed it and out of the park. So that's what I loved about it. I'm still trying to figure out how they did the glow in the dark teeth.
Yeah,
the glow and the black is black is just so black you get lost in it.
Yeah, I like the joke from the kid. He like puts his hand on it. He's like, he's blacker than my cousin. I'm like,
yeah, they definitely gave themselves license to say things normally you wouldn't hear. But again, this was also a decade ago, so they're probably a little less PC than they are now. But with that being said, I mean, I love you all. I do. But what's our favorites? What are we going to talk about now? I mean, we could talk about killings. There's plenty of killing going on. So, Miss Brooke, favorite kill or favorite moment?
My favorite kill was when, let me think about it, was when the aliens killed Hi-Hats. I really didn't like the gang leader, the drug dealer guy. So when he got ganged up on, I was like, bye. I was happy.
Bye.
Yeah, I was like, bye. I was happy about that.
Yes, I am with Brooke. That's my favorite also. It was sad when Dennis was killed. Yeah. Decapitated in front of them. That was kind of gross. But watching Hi-Hats get his, that was fantastic. Yeah. And then you get the shot where he's screaming, and the next shot looks like he's without his skin, still screaming. It was fantastic.
Okay, Brooke, it's been a long time since you've been here, and Carly's really turned murderous on us. So, like, the more disgusting, she seems to like it even more so. So that little innocent romantic right there, yeah. Carly, she's going to the dark side, and I'm all about it. Since you both took Hi-Hat, which is really the most rewarding and satisfying kill, absolutely. Whereas all the other ones were very sad, and you kind of rooted for them to survive, and they didn't. So I'm not going to say favorite. I mean, I'm going to have to go. And again, this is a spoiler, so if you haven't seen it and it's been a decade, that's on you. Right. But where he's got the female strapped to his back, and he's like running through the apartment with the gas lit, and the firework, and of course the lighter that just doesn't ever seem to light. And when all the male aliens are all like trying to go through the half wall, and he just lights it up, and that whole apartment blows out like we're at the Nakatomi building in Die Hard.
Yes.
Yeah, that was really the favorite kill because it was just you got them
so
all.
Many of them.
Yeah. And it was really a simple concept too. The concept of how many times have we seen a room be filled with gas and a match lit? We've seen it 100 times, but the fact that they all were chasing the pheromones of the female, just fantastic. I loved it. But I have a question for both of you, because my one big peeve about this film is you have kids on bicycles, and not only do you have a kid on a bicycle, he's got the bars so the other kid can ride with him. You have a really low end scooter like a Vespa with a dog in the back. Actually, that was a sad kill too.
Had the dog in the back.
Oh yeah, the dog. Yeah.
We'll give RIP for that. RIP for DOG. And and just like every time they're being chased down by these just crazy, muscular and agile aliens, somehow, some way, everybody could like ride these bicycles uphill.
Right.
Like at 2 miles an hour and still somehow get away from these aliens. Please tell me. Yeah, and not, oh my God. I was out of breath just watching that guy try to pedal his friend on a bike. But because I'm 50-some years old and ain't none of that happening in my life. So like let's talk about that, because that's what I think is interesting. Is like, does that make it funnier in film? Or is it just like me, takes you out of it? It's like, really? They're not going to get away that way.
Well,
Brooke. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brooke.
Okay.
So I'm still stunned by that. I was still shocked that they were riding the bikes, because I was out of breath when they was riding the bikes to rob the girl and then run away. I'm like, yeah, I would have been dead. But that's about it. What about you, Colonel?
Well, I wasn't really paying attention to the fact that they were going uphill. I was more like, get away, go.
But see, that answers the question. You were so wrapped up in the tension of it, like the slowness of their escape actually made it more tension filling for you, tension building. So, all right. So I'm taken out of the film by like the absurdity of the bike chase. And you're like, no, come on, pedal faster. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, they were running faster to go get the weapons out of their apartments than they ever were riding any of those vehicles.
Right.
Except for the motor one.
And I don't know, even the motor one, which I thought would be the most effective, was still pretty slow paced. Like, oh my God, I got a dirt bike. But it was like, it really wasn't getting a job done for me. But hey, what?
They're in the block.
They're in the block. That's what you can afford, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was absurd. It was absurd. But we knew that the one kid was going to be able to make the jump from the one causeway to the other causeway, because they didn't let him do it the first time. So you knew he had to make it. Otherwise, he would have been snapped in midair by a monster, and that would have been satisfying as well. But that was really in the film. Got to keep them together at least for a while. Now, what did we think of Nick Frost in his film? If everybody knows who he is, he was also he was on the couch with the other guy, and they were like in the room with all the. He was the big fat guy with the long hair.
Okay, he was hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah,
because typically he's with Simon Pegg in at World's End or Hot Fuzz or Shaun of the Dead. So like to see him in this was like, do you know the director or producer? Because either that or you just do everything for everybody. And so it was fun to see him in it, even though he had such a bit in it.
Yeah, he sticks his head out. Are they gone?
I like when they're just sitting on the couch smoking and they're just looking for a minute. They're like,
Which kind of reminds me back to a pick we had. Which one was it, Carly? Where they were doing the magic at the old mansion, and the two of the friends of the son were potheads. I can't remember the film. That? Was that Ghoulies?
You know what? It might have been.
Yeah, where like, and there's always something hilarious about two potheads in a horror film.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but every time you see them, you're like, dude, you know you're gonna get killed soon, right? And then when they don't, you're like, is it the weed that kept them alive?
Must have been.
Must have been the weed. The magic weed. Or like they just don't care enough to be scared. I don't know what it is. But it seems like that's like the trope you got to have in every horror film. Sex and a bunch of potheads. Yeah. And then somebody who like is a virgin. I mean, that seems to be all the ones you need.
There wasn't any sex in this one.
Thank God.
Well, just saying. Just saying, they missed the trope.
There could have been some. I mean, there was a moment they could have got a little loving.
Oh man, when they went up there to the girls,
yeah. But see, I love that though because those girls are like, dude, get away from me with your stupidity. It's like, well, you bugged that girl. It's like, what the hell's wrong? It was almost like the slap on the back of the head. I love that the girls weren't taking no shit from these boys.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah. So I did like to throw, and now I don't know if that is the case, but throwing it on its ear where these guys think they're tough and all that, but yet the girls are like, you ain't nothing. Get that away from me.
Right.
You're a bunch of just like immatures.
Her?
Yeah. And it was good to see her. Go ahead, Brooke.
Oh, but my favorite part is like at the end when they're all getting arrested and they're like yelling at the cops, no, blah, blah, blah. And then the girls are like, we'll save you. And then Moses, like they're cheering for him. I started crying that part too.
Oh yeah, when he's like, that's for you. They're doing it for you, Moses. Yeah. I mean, because I think in a hero story arc in his journey, that is where like he's a reluctant hero. Yeah. Where he did it for not altruistic reasons. He did because he felt he had to, and then just came out the other side the hero. So there supposedly is a sequel in the works after all these years. I keep hearing rumors about one being not necessarily in production, but being talked about. So it'd be lovely to see them all these years later with another invasion after the first invasion is like, what happened to my girl and all my bruvs?
He said bruvs. That's exactly how I say it too. Bruvs. Right. I was like, what is a bruv?
A bruv. Listen, bruv. Listen, fam. I know the words. I know the lingo that the South Enders use. I'm all about that. Man. But with that, we now have to. We've talked about it. We've dissected it. But in reality, what are we going to rate this thing? And with that, I want to go right to. We're gonna let Brooke go last. Because Brooke is new to this process. So we're going to go, and it's my film, so I get choice. So Carly, out of 5 whatevers, what do you give this film?
I give it a solid 4 blat.
Oh, what?
Blat. Wow, that was pretty stellar. I'm kind of taken aback, Carly, about how amazing that was and how much passion you put into it. Thank you. I myself, because it's been years and the film held up, and you know how I feel about films that don't hold up. That with the technology they had, I could still watch it today and be like, damn. Other than like some man in a gorilla suit looking things every once in a while. Even when they're chasing Moses down the hallway when he's got the female strapped to his back, like it still was tension filled. I mean, they kind of had a weird lumber to them, but they were freaking scary as hell. And it must have been no teeth. The teeth. Yeah. So with that, I could go one of two ways. I'm going to go this way, which is I'm going to give this film 4.25 bruvs.
All right.
So Brooke, now that you've seen it done, now it's your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna give it a 4.8. I guess weed smokers.
I thought she was gonna go with fluorescent teeth, But yeah, because that was the other one.
Smokers, but hey,
I think that really shows you where Brooke is mentally. She came out before this, was like, "What? I gotta go on the show? All right, let's go. Let's do this thing." But let's see. Do I have any last things to ask you about this? What about the kids? The two youngins that wanted to be, they wanted to be in it. I mean, what did you think about that?
What were the names that they wanted to be?
Was one Mayhem? I don't remember.
Yeah, one was Mayhem.
I don't even remember.
I don't know. It's been like 2 weeks since I watched it. But aside from that, it was all about like nobody's ever going to call you Mayhem if you're doing that. But Brooke, did you feel that they were comic relief or a social commentary about how the youngers want to be like the olders?
Yeah, I picked the second one, but I thought they were really, really, really funny. Really, really funny. I felt like they brought the comedic to the movie, and I really like when he had the gun. I thought that was a real gun. He was just holding it like this, and I was like, "Is that real?" But yeah, it turned out to be like a pedal gun or something.
Yeah, and the fact that the one of the older guys took it away from him because like showing like you're not responsible or old enough to have a gun like that, and then to find out it wasn't real anyway, which goes to show you that they don't even know what guns feel in the weight of them because they didn't even know it was just a cap gun.
Yeah. Oh man. Isn't that the one that got his head bit off though? The one that had the gun and was shooting it? Isn't that the one that got his head bit off?
That was one of Hi-Hat's guns.
Oh.
Yeah, that wasn't just the cap gun from the kid. But I do the one thing I like is as much as they're not really likable, they weren't meant to be likable characters necessarily, but you got so ingrained in the kind of that family dynamic they had. And the fact that they looked out for their own and looked out for these young kids, even though they were going to get indoctrinated eventually into, thug life. Yeah. And that's what happened to Moses. He took the job with the weed or whatever. I mean, he didn't have to, but he did. Because that's where you're stepping up, right? It's like the next step is to be that person. Yeah. So that's just like, so it's under life for them. But I did like the fact that they felt responsible for the other ones. And they felt bad when they found out that the nurse they mugged lived in the building.
Yeah.
Because that was their block.
Yeah. So it's very interesting how insulated the where you want to be protected and how people see you. So I did think it was a lovely commentary about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not that I've ever been to the South End of London, but that's the way I assume it's going to be all over.
Yes. Well, I liked the way that they were trying to tell the kids go home, just go home, and of course the kids were like, "I don't think so," and they ended up saving pigs. So.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, they look up to these guys, and that's what they want to be, and they want to hang with them. I mean, how many of us had siblings or friends that were younger that want to hang with us or us with olders because we want to be cool like them?
Me with olders.
That's true.
Because I was the brat.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. I like how they saved the boy from the dumpster, though. That was pretty cool. That was nice.
Yeah, and the fact that that's one of those scenes that also was so well crafted in terms of just getting that side beat in, and like you didn't know how much longer it was going to hold out the dumpster. So I love that fact as well. Yeah, and Brooke was chastising her dog Sparks. That's why she went on leave. But thank you, we appreciate that. Here is every one of us have dogs. I think except Ashley, who has a cat who's always on film. Too. Oh, does she? Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's only the cat that makes an appearance every other week. But we do miss you, Ashley. We do miss you.
Yes, we do. Yeah. We hope you're feeling better.
Yeah. I mean, Brooke's like, listen, I got final exams. I got 5 shifts at the work tonight. I have to do my modeling gig and my 5 other podcasts. But somehow she managed, when she heard Ashley was not feeling well about 5 hours ago, she dropped everything to watch this film and be here with us today.
Thank you.
So thank you. I mean, and Brooke, by the way, we spent so many weeks like lamenting you not being here, and eventually, like, listen, she'll come back whenever she comes back. I mean, we can't say we keep missing you all the time, but we did miss you. We definitely missed the quartet because it really rounds it out perfectly. But I'm just very, very, very curious. Who's next? What are we talking about next? Whose job is it? Whose pick is it? What?
It is mine.
Yours? Why? Oh, why?
Why? Oh, why? Because it's my turn, and we are going to be watching Renfield, a comedy horror that I have wanted to see since my middle child went to see it. And I have been waiting for this to come on streaming where you didn't have to pay $20 to watch it so I could pick it.
That, to everybody off camera, that's all we've been hearing from Carly every week in, week out. I can't wait for this to come on. And I believe it's on Peacock?
Yes.
Okay, so for the fans that want to keep up with us, it will be on Peacock. It is on Peacock. I've watched it twice because it is that cool, I think. You talk about camp. We're going to continue with a lot of camp. Nicolas Cage is in this thing. Nicholas Hoult. I know Nicholas Hoult from The Great on Hulu that me and my girlfriend just finished. And I thought, oh, that's an accent he puts on. No, Nicholas Hoult sounds exactly like that in real life. And I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And then Nicolas Cage, I think, just as a preview of what's to come, I believe Nicolas Cage just banged this out of the park.
Nice.
It was almost like an amalgam of Nicolas Cage just as Nicolas Cage being himself and Bela Lugosi. I don't know how. It was almost like they did it in such a great job to just convert the Bela Lugosi type of shot.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Can't
wait to see it.
It was fantastic. Fantastic.
Thank you for the preview.
Oh, you'll love it. I mean, you can't go wrong. You could have seen that in the trailer, but Nicolas Cage is at his most Nicolas Cageiest, but in all the best ways.
I think I'm going to watch it tonight.
I think you should, because you're going to want. Because I will tell you this again, another sneak peek for Brooke, who's kind of more into the kind of psychological and psychiatric parts of things. There's a lot of underscore of this film. It's all about codependency and just it's amazing. So I kind of feel bad that it didn't do as well in the theater, but it really is going to be a cult classic in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
So that's my preview before next week. But with that, I love you both. Ashley, we hope you feel better soon. We miss you. Hope to see you next week. And is it true? Is this rumor true, Brooke, that you will be back next week as well?
Yep. I'm officially back.
Oh, man. We will let all the news outlets know that Brooke is officially back. And we
will have the quartet next week. That is fantastic.
Now, unfortunately, Brooke, you didn't hear this, but we want the core four back. But as we know, Carly's got a lot of issue with the core four right now. So say no more. Say no more. Carly's like, I can't believe you're saying it to me right now as we end the show.
That's all right. That's okay. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it.
All right. Well, love to you both. Well, I'll try to do the hearts again. I try to do the heart every week. It's always sucked. So yeah, yours are much better. Mine suck. Oh, I can do it like that though. Okay. It still looks like some weird blob. I don't know. But with that, I love you both. We will see you both next week, same time. And with that, we end another chapter, another review, and have a great night. Have a great Sunday, and we will scare you later. Bye.